Well, today we are talking about Horizon Forbidden West, a game that many of us are eagerly anticipating. It's going to be releasing on February 18th, and so we are a few weeks away from that release, but it seems an early build of the game, specifically a PS4 version of the game, has leaked out. And this is very concerning, I think, to a lot of players because now you have to be very weary of spoilers and people trying to just ruin the experience and whatnot. And I also want to talk about why this is kind of a big deal, because this is not the first time we're seeing something like this happen. I'm sure many of you recall The Last of Us Part 2. That was one of the biggest gaming leaks ever, and Sony was absolutely furious with that situation, as was Naughty Dog, and many players and gamers were furious at that situation as well, because it's one thing when like a little spoiler, maybe here or there kind of leaks out in certain areas of the internet. It's another thing entirely when an entire game leaks out and it's just out there for people to see and, torture others with. It's pretty egregious, So I want to go over this information. This is reading from VGC, where they say an early build of Guerrilla Games' Horizon Forbidden West has leaked into the public domain, VGC understands. On Monday, images of what was claimed to be the PS4 version of the PlayStation exclusive sequel began circulating on social media. VGC has since been told that the leaked build is indeed legitimate and, other than some missing art assets, contains the entire core content planned for the final game. Following the publication of images claiming to show the leaked Horizon Forbidden West build on Twitter, the media was eventually removed hours later due to a report from the copyright holder, which adds further credence to their legitimacy. At the time of publishing, the Forbidden West build does not appear to be circulating on file sharing sites, though Sony will likely be wary of a situation similar to The Last of Us Part 2, which saw story spoilers circulate widely online well ahead of its official release date thanks to a similar build leak. Now, this is something that you guys have to be aware of because, as I said, I know many of you, including myself, we're looking forward to this game, and it's a single-player, story-driven game, right? The biggest aspect of this game is going to be the story. And so it's hard to say if there are going to be like major plot spoilers that are on the level of, say, something like The Last of Us Part 2. I think The Last of Us Part 2 is an extreme example of a story that was absolutely not meant to be spoiled or leaked out in any way, shape, or form. That was obviously devastating to everybody. But when it comes to Horizon Forbidden West, I have no doubt there will be some twists. There will be some, interesting and exciting things that happen. But I'm not necessarily expecting, a plot twist on the same level as what we saw with The Last of Us Part 2. And that's not to say that this means we, don't want to avoid spoilers, that we're not going to be on the lookout. But this is just the situation that's currently unfolding, and I have to imagine, once again, Sony is punching air right now, just absolutely losing their minds that this is happening again. And, players are upset. This is something I kind of noticed people talking about, where they're like, Sony, what are you doing? How is this continuing to happen? How is it that this is a situation that you find yourself in, or we find ourselves in, once again, with a long-awaited PlayStation exclusive that's been in development for just years. We're so close to launch, and somehow this happens. I'm not necessarily blaming Sony, but I think it is understandable, certainly, that people will be sitting here and they'll have to ask, come on, what are you doing, Sony? Figure this out, crack down on this. Do whatever you need to do to make sure stuff like this isn't happening. And I'm sure right now Sony is scrambling to do whatever they can. And it's insane to me that after what happened with The Last of Us Part 2, there's no doubt in my mind that Sony decided to bring the hammer down, right? And I'm talking bring the hammer down to the point where if we catch you, you're done. You're beyond done at that point. Scaring people to the point where you don't want to be that person that leaks the next Sony exclusive, because if you do, like I said, you're done. It's crazy to me that there's no doubt in my mind Sony did that, and yet here we are with Horizon Forbidden West. It's happening again. However, I will say there is a positive to this, at least one positive that I want to mention to you guys, because I know that this is a not so great video, not ideal news, but something good we can take away from this. You know, granted, I'm not showing any images, I'm not spoiling anything, you know, but this is something that people were noticing, how good the PS4 version of Horizon Forbidden West looks. Like, people were actually very surprised. They're like, is this legitimate? Because these images look really good. You know, the images that were circulating, they weren't anything of significance. They were just random images of, you know, people showing like, hey, we have an early build of the game. They didn't show any spoilers, but people were looking at them and they're like, this looks incredible for a PS4 game. And so, you know, that is the positive I'm taking from this, is that, yeah, the game's out there. It's leaked early. There's no doubt that at some point in the next week or two, there's going to be a bunch of story spoilers. You're going to have to, you know, stay off the internet and whatnot. But at the very least, if you are somebody who is going to be playing this game on PS4, you can rest assured that it's going to look amazing. It's going to look as good as you expect it to look, and it's going to live up to expectations there. And it will likely, you know, cause your PS4 to sound like a, you know, jet engine, which is unfortunate, but still, you're going to get a good looking game. And I think that even PS5 owners at this point can feel good about that as well, because if it looks that good on the PS4, then I think it's safe to say it's going to look significantly better on the PS5, right? To where it's going to be even more impressive. So that is the positive or the upside to this that I'm, you know, trying to take away from this. But all in all, you know, I wanted to just let you guys know about this, because if you are somebody who is like searching Horizon Forbidden West related stuff on the internet, on Twitter, wherever you may be, you want to be on the lookout for spoilers. You know, if you're on YouTube and you're searching Horizon Forbidden West, you're going to want to be careful, but I'm sure Sony's going to do everything in their power to try to make sure that it doesn't circulate as widely as, you know, some of us are thinking it might. And so, yeah, this is the current situation. You know, I am genuinely curious as to what Sony plans to do about this, because, you know, with The Last of Us Part 2, as I said, it was a big deal. Horizon Forbidden West is just as big of a game as The Last of Us Part 2 is, and it's happening yet again. I have to imagine at this point, Sony's going to take some kind of extreme action, because, you know, the last thing I think we want, and obviously the last thing they want, is for this to become something that continually happens. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I will be interested to see what you have to say. Leave the video a like if you enjoyed it or found it informative. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.